In this tutorial we're going to have a look at some of the geometry that you can create using the blend tool, and here's three pieces of geometry that have been created using that tool. To summarize, blends are a series of cross-sectional shapes which have a set distance between each one, which then creates the geometry. So in this shape on the left here, it's created from 4 circular cross-sectional shapes which have then had an offset applied to them to create the solid geometry. So if we just have a look at some of the variables in there, you can see the heights displayed here. So we've got 100 mm, 150, 300 at the bottom here. And the way that these blends have been created, all the cross-sectional shapes are sketched on a single plane. So you can see here all the cross-sections, which are all circles in this example, all have their diameters labelled up here. If we move on to the shape just on the right of that one, so this middle shape here, it's set up in a very similar way, but rather than transitioning in a straight line from one profile to the next, this one takes a line of best fit through all the profiles. So this one was also created using 4 sections. So we can see the heights here. We have 3 heights. So we have the section at the bottom, we have a section in here at 200, we have another section here, another 100 up, and then 150 beyond that we have the end section as well. It's just an attribute that you can set when you define the blend, whether you want it smooth, as this one is, or you can have a straight blend, which if we just modify this quickly now and then OK that, you can see the exact same geometry there has created a straight-sided blend. So it's quite easy to flick between the two. If you go into Edit Definition, click on the Attribute Straight option, Define, and then flick it back over to Smooth, and done. And there you go, we've got back. Now this blend on the end here is quite unique in that it starts off as a rectangular section for the base, but then it transitions in a single transition up to a single point at the top here. So obviously all these 4 faces come together at a point which you could describe as a singularity, because all the faces merge into one at the end there. So if we just have a quick look at the blend interface and how to create a simple blend. So it's in the Insert menu here, and it's Blend. Now Protrusion will give you a piece of solid geometry. Thin Protrusion, as its name suggests, it will allow you to set a wall thickness for the geometry. It will still be solid geometry, but it won't be solid all the way through. It will have a cavity in the center and it will have a wall thickness. A cut allows you to cut some other geometry using the blend, so the blend itself isn't created as a solid, it's just used as a cutting tool to cut away at another solid. A thin cut is a combination of a thin wall, which is then used to cut through another solid, and a surface, which is similar to a thin, but it has 0 thickness. It's a purely theoretical piece of geometry inside the machine, so before you take your designs into the real world you'll have to do something to that surface, either thicken it or you just use it as a cutting tool to cut away some other geometry. So we'll produce the most simple one of these, the protrusion. So we're just going to create some solid geometry, and if we try and recreate one of these shapes, let's try and recreate the pyramid here. So if you just leave all the options on their defaults here and just click on Done, and we'll have a straight blend done, and then it's asking for a sketch plane to sketch these sections on. So we'll choose the top plane here, the same as the other three blends. Now this red arrow here is indicating the direction that the blend will travel in. So again, all these blends have used the default, which is upwards. You can flip that just by clicking on flip here, and it will travel downwards. In fact, let's do that just to create some slightly different geometry with this blend. So if we OK that, and then it's asking you how you want to sketch on this plane, how you want to look at the plane. The default will be fine for the time being. So it's taken us underneath the plane here, and we're looking upwards. So to recreate an approximate version of the pyramid, if we just sketch in a rectangle here. Now obviously you can dimension this up, and if you're using it to create a part, that's definitely what you should do. Enter the dimensions so that you have control, not the software. But we'll just leave that for the time being. And then what you want to do when you've completed that section, if you right click and hold the right button until this menu pops up, and then just click on toggle selection, and what that does is it deactivates that cross section that you've just sketched, and it gives you access to the next cross section in your blend. And in our case we're gonna just sketch a single point, which if you want this a nice symmetrical pyramid, that really has to be locked down so that it's in the middle point in both the side here and this side here. So if you just draw some lines like that, they're snapped automatically to the midpoints there. That's what these M's signify. But what we want to do is we want to change this line to horizontal. So we open our constraints bar here, and we select one end of the line and the other end of the line using the horizontal constraint there. We need to do one more thing here. We need to select these two lines that we put in. Oh, this you can just tell that this one isn't quite vertical, so we'll just put a vertical constraint on there. So vertical constraint, this end of that line with this end of that line, and you can see that's been squared up nicely. So we don't want to leave these lines as solid geometry, so if you click on one, hold down Control and click on the other, and then hold down your right button, you can convert them to construction geometry, which you do by selecting construction there. That means that the program will ignore them, they're just there for your benefit, just to allow you to place things. So we finished now, so you can click OK on the tick, and this next menu is asking us how do you want to specify the depth of this blend. We're going to select just the blind option. That allows us to just key in a value for the depth of the blend. There are other options in there. You can send it through till it hits some other geometry, or through all geometry, or from some point in the part to some other point in the part. But we'll just select blind for this example, and it's asking us to enter a depth up here, and we'll just put 100 mil in for this one. So if you want a quick preview of what your part's going to look like, if you click on preview there and then rotate round so that you can get a good sense of what you created. So at this point, if you weren't happy with something about that, say the depth, you could click on it up here, define, and then just put a different number in there. Let's put 300 in there, and then again you can click preview and you get a quick preview of what you've created. Let's say we're happy with that. So that's a quick overview of the blend tool interface, and just hopefully showing you some of the geometry that you can create with that.